Do you find it hard to let your walls down, to let people in? Do you find it hard to trust others and let them get close to you? Because of our past, because of being betrayed and hurt before, we think that we're safer behind the walls that we put up. But it is actually safe to trust. There are good people coming into your life now, so it's time to break down those walls and open your heart. My name is Angela Cleary. I'm a feminine empowerment coach. I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse, and I also offer twin flame and spiritual guidance. This is the thing, we're hiding behind these walls because of what we've been through. The pain of the past, the childhood trauma, but the relationship trauma that we've been through. And we're in the energy at the moment. There's big energy, especially, I love September. September is like a whole new year in itself because it's a new beginning. It's coming into winter, coming into autumn. And it's a chance to let go of the past and move into the future. And with the eclipse energies and the 9/9 portal and all that, there's a really big energy of letting go of karmic cycles, letting go of karmic situations and our past, letting go of what's keeping us stuck. And one of the things that I think is keeping us stuck is our inability to trust again. And that's it. We just don't feel safe. And this is because we've been shown before that it's unsafe. Anytime that we've been vulnerable in the past, anytime that we have opened up, we have been shunned and shamed. And I know I keep doing videos on opening your heart, but this is because it's our biggest block. Our biggest block to moving forward. And we have other blocks as well. Our other chakras need to be cleared as well. But I believe that we can't really heal the rest unless we heal our heart, or we can't have balance without healing our heart. I think our heart is the control center of everything. Love is the frequency that powers all of it. And if we're closed off, we can't receive, but we can't give either. And, that's one of the scariest parts as well, is that, it's like this trap door that I keep saying. Your heart's like a trap door. You can let love out, but the minute somebody tries to give it, you just close back up again. It's like no one's getting in here again because it's too scary. And, I didn't even realize this for a long time, but I was actually afraid to be loved. And why are we afraid to be loved? Because the love that we have known was toxic. It was unsafe. Our model of love, my model of love growing up was rotten. It was absolutely, it was disgusting. I never witnessed love in my upbringing. I never really witnessed what true love could be like. It was unsafe and it was volatile. And then the relationships that I did attract based on my wounding, they were volatile too. So any model of love that I received was toxic. And anytime I did trust, I was hurt. And one of the biggest things we go through on this journey of awakening is that we have to walk away from a lot of people. And that's hard because the people that we once were trusting, that's the hardest part. The people we actually trusted are now not people that we can trust anymore. And that's even harder. Not only have we lost trust because of untrustworthy people hurting us, the people that we once were able to trust are now no longer on the same frequency as us. So we have to say goodbye to them as well. So this really fucks things up. You know what I mean? And our abandonment wound and our rejection wound is a very big one that leads to us being afraid to trust. It comes from childhood and it comes from past relationships. So, and even when we choose to leave something, if you choose to leave a job, if you choose to leave a relationship, if you choose to walk away from family or friends, the abandonment wound is still triggered. That trust wound is still triggered. And it gets louder and louder each time if we don't face it. But it's there because we're just so scared to be hurt again. And as I said, it's that past life trauma, past life trauma as well, childhood trauma and past relationship trauma, on top of the fact that we're having to walk away from people we once did trust. This really leads us to put those walls up. This really leads us to stop letting people in. And this can lead to hyper-independence as well, where we're actually trying to do everything ourselves. We don't ask for help. We think it's weak to be vulnerable. And we think it's weak to ask for help, and we feel like we have to do everything on our own. But we don't. And we really don't. And one of the best things about this growth journey and everything that we have been through, it means we can trust again. And one of the things is, right, we're a reflection of what we feel, or we're a reflection of how we feel about others. So in actual fact, you're not trusting yourself. That's a big one as well. How can you trust others if you don't trust yourself? And the reason we don't trust yourself is because there's this hidden resentment towards ourselves, this anger towards ourselves, asking ourselves, how could I do this? How could How could I have not seen through the lies? How could I have, what did I do wrong, for this to happen? But the thing is, everything happens for a reason. And, I had to look back, and this was a hard one for me, because I've been through narcissistic relationships, as you know. And, you'll go through a phase of asking yourself, what did I do wrong to attract that? Or how did I not see through the red flags? Why was I so naive? And you hold this inner blame. And that inner blame leads to you not trusting yourself. But you have to remember, every relationship you've gone through, every experience you've gone through has helped you grow into the person that you are. And that's the most important thing. There was a lesson there. And it's really hard to do this, but you can look back on all the relationships you've been through, even the toxic ones, and there was some part of it that helped you grow. Whether it was just the breakup and the lessons, or there was some part of it that, that actually helped you evolve. There was something there that was good at one stage, and you were not supposed to see through it until you did. You had to learn, the longer the time that you spend with a toxic person, it just means the bigger the lesson. So it wasn't your fault, or you didn't do anything wrong to actually attract those relationships. You needed that for your growth and your lessons and to make you stronger. And that's the thing, we're not presented with things like that because we're weak or because, we can't handle them. We're presented with these situations because we are strong, because we are resilient, and because we can get through them. So there's where we can trust ourselves. And also, when we're in a low vibration energy, I mentioned this in the video yesterday, if you're in a low vibration energy, you're going to attract low vibration energy. So, when I was in a low vibration energy, not only did I attract narcissistic relationships, I attracted narcissistic bosses, I attracted narcissistic friends, my family members turned narcissistic or something. It was just it was constant. It was it was only after I realized what patterns were that I realized, okay, why am I a magnet to fucking narcissistic men and narcissistic people? It wasn't just men, it was women as well. And it's just what the hell? What the fuck am I doing here that I'm attracted? I'm literally a magnet for narcs. I was a magnet for narcs because I was in a low vibrational state. I was in a very wounded and unhealed place. So therefore, I literally was a magnet. And that's it. I even attracted a fear-based entity as well. My vibration really went to shit. Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing. I was in a low vibration energy, but I've done the work to raise my vibration. So I have to trust myself in that. If you're doing the work to raise your vibration, if you've walked away from all these toxic people, then you're on a higher vibe. You can open your heart. You can let those walls down, and you can trust, because you're only going to attract high vibration energy now. And what I find so cool as well is when you do high vibe, your intuition is on point. So before you even speak to a narc, you're like, this fucker is a narc. But you're not going to attract them anyway. But they're everywhere. They're going to be everywhere. They're not going to come into your life as in your intimate circle anymore, because you're literally going to see it before they come. I get downloads about narcs, just by their energy. And I'm like, sometimes I'm like, oh, geez, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just being paranoid. And then somebody will confirm it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm right. You know what I mean? So I was right. I'd be able to set that barrier. And that's the thing. We can set healthy boundaries with, or, walk away from these kind of people now. And that's the thing. We can trust ourselves to be aware of who we let into our lives. This is the most important thing. So this is the thing about trusting yourself. Trust yourself in knowing that you won't attract assholes anymore. And it's that simple. It's not just about being able to trust other people. Trust that you've done the work and that you can't actually attract shit into your life anymore. And this is the thing. And when you live in a place of love, when you open your heart, and when, this was hard for me. This goes back to around December last year, around November, December last year. I'd had to walk away from so many people. I was on my own physically, you know what I mean? And I was finding it very hard to connect with people even online. And, even the friends that I did have, it was just through text messages, how are you? I'm fine. And it could have been after going through a dark night of the soul, and I'm like, I'm fine. Do you know what I mean? And I was just really closed off. And I was only with a video chat with my friend that she helped me break my walls down. She helped me open my heart. And I'm like, shit, I need to let people in or I'm going to close off completely. I'm going to turn to stone. And that was the way it was. And I was in such fear that I wouldn't be able to give love anymore. I live to give love. But because I was so closed off, and this is what happens. If you continue to put those walls up, they will get bigger and bigger and bigger. So the less you let people in, the less you're going to be able to get out as well. Because the more you close, there's not going to be able to get in or out anymore. It's like literally, and like the Scrooge energy is what I'm getting. He got so hurt in the past that like he ended up, detesting love, and not trusting anyone and not letting people in. And that's what it is. And you turn into this asshole. And like, you can turn bitter. And like, it got to a stage for me where I was getting very lonely. And I'm not lonely. I love living on my own. I love my peace. But it was getting to a stage for me that I was getting so closed off that I was lonely. And a little bit, I wouldn't say bitter, but starting to get angry with the world. And sometimes if we do close off completely, we can get angry with the world. And that's not a nice place to be in. And the more we can safely trust ourselves, we can safely trust others as well. And this is it. Like, I remember when I was in my closed off energy and somebody turned around to me and said, people want to help. And I'm like, what? I'm the helper, like, so obviously I want to help and I am people. But like, I was just like, do they? I was in this such a painful energy that I was like, and I was like, I'm not letting anyone in. I was like, I never asked for help. And I was just like, do they? Do people want to help? Because I always felt like, I'm going to be a burden if I ask for help. And that was another part of me closing off as well. It was like, you have to do it on your own. You have to do it on your own. You can't get hurt if you do it on your own. And yes, you can. Do you know what I mean? And like, that was a big one for me. It was like, don't ask anyone for help. Don't speak to anyone. Don't talk to anyone. Just don't let anyone in and you can't get hurt. And I was actually causing myself more and more pain because I wasn't letting people in. And it was horrible. It really scared me to feel that energy. But it got to the precipice of me turning to stone effectively, that I actually had to go, something has to change here. And it's beautiful because, I always believed in the power of community anyway. But if you just open your heart, the world opens its heart to you as well. And I love that. You know what I mean? And I have such great friends now. I have just such great support. And, I feel that love. And I think it's just a great place to be in. And only up till a few weeks ago, because I did another breathwork session, and the clarity that came through for me was that I was afraid to be seen. And I had to dig deep on that. And I was like, why am I afraid to be seen? And it was, I'm afraid to be open with people. I'm afraid to be completely vulnerable. And, it's lately, actually, I've actually been able to be more vulnerable with my friends. I've ugly cried in front of the two of them, like, do you know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah, if you can ugly cry in front of somebody, that means you can trust them. So yeah, I am starting to realize that it's okay to let my walls down. And like, that's the way I see it as well. If I can trust my female friends now, I have a couple of male friends that I trust as well. But if I can trust these people now so wholeheartedly that I can ugly cry in front of them, then I'm like, that's a sign of the truth of the fact that there are people that are safe. And that's what it is. It's feeling safe. Safe to let down the walls, safe to trust, and safe to open our heart, safe to be vulnerable. And it's a nice feeling after feeling so unsafe for such a long time to be able to say that I can feel safe in front of people again. And that's what you can do too. So it is safe to open your heart. It's safe to let those walls down. And one thing about it is just nurture yourself through it. Nurture your inner child. And that's the thing. Your inner child is within you, needing to feel safe. So if you make your inner child feel safe, then you will in turn help yourself feel safe as well. It is an ongoing process, but it is worth it. And it is beautiful. So trust yourself to let people in. You're not going to attract low vibrational energy anymore because you're in a high vibrational energy yourself. It's safe to let your walls down. It is safe to trust. It's safe to let people in again. And it's okay to open your heart. It really is. And it's beautiful. And it's not just about people. When you open your heart, the world just gets more beautiful. And you end up attracting such opportunities and abundance into your life. And that's another energy we're going through at the moment. There is this energy of new beginnings and abundance. Like, and this is so important. I'm going to do a video on this next week. Endings literally happen so that you can make room for new beginnings. You can't bring in the high vibe, good energy people or situations if you don't let go of the past. You need to make room for these things to happen. So if there's things falling apart in your life right now, let them go. They're not serving you. Those foundations are crumbling because they were never solid in the first place. And they're making room for bigger and better to enter. There's such an energy of abundance coming if we let go of the restrictions of the past. And one of those restrictions is those walls that we put up because of the pain of the past. The past will not repeat. One of the main reasons for that is because you are not the same person that you were when you were hurt by those people. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it wasn't your fault that you were hurt by those people, but you were in a very wounded state. Now you're stronger because of all of that, so that you can detect low vibrational energy. You can refuse it into your life, or you can refuse it from coming into your life, and you can welcome in what's good. So listen to that. Listen to your intuition and trust that, and let go of everything that's holding you back. Let go of those walls and move forward into your new beginning. Move forward into your future, and move forward with trust. So thank you so much for listening today, and I really hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share, and please subscribe to my channel so I can reach as many people as possible. And if you would like help on your journey, please book me for a free discovery call today, and I'm nothing more than to help you on your path. Also, I will be hosting a free webinar on this Friday, the 12th, at 6 p.m. Ireland UK time. I will be speaking on inner child healing, which will help you to feel safe and trust. So if you want information about that, just comment below. And also, I have another channel called Aligning with Angie, where I'll be sharing a guided meditation every week. The information for that is in the description box.